Hello there. How's it going? Yeah. What's up, guys? Hey, it's nice to meet you. I just want to talk about some stuff today. Cool. No, joking. So I want to talk about cars and the importance of atmosphere within animation. So atmosphere is one of the things that makes animation so great, because with animation you can create literal worlds from scratch.
Phenomenal cosmic powers!
And just take a look at Pixar. What they do super good with their films is they make super detailed, creative worlds that immerses the audience into. They're really great at what they do. Good job, Pixar. Keep doing your thing. And here's just some examples about how great Pixar uses animation to create really good atmospheric worlds. So, what is that? Oh yeah. So yeah, there's Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo. We're used to fish. We're used to the ocean, right? But they're like, hey, kind of like similar to Bug's Life, let's just make a fish world. So we're immersed into the ocean, and we go on this adventure from point A to point B with a whole bunch of crazy stuff in between. You know, first it's Marlin and Nemo's world. It's this regular, looks like the suburbs, I guess. It's really nice. They got a school, they got the street lights, you know, all that. Really detailed atmosphere. And then you have Bruce and the AA meeting about the sharks. And then you have the minefield and the old ship. Then they're down below in the pitch black with the monsters. And then there's the EAC and the turtles. And then the jellyfish. And then Sydney. It's a great atmosphere. It's exciting. It keeps the audience immersed into the world. And when the audience is immersed into the world, it helps them be engaged into the story, right? Let's take a look at Monsters Inc. That is a crazy atmosphere. One of the most unique and original atmospheres I've ever seen. First, there's two worlds, right? There's the Monsters world, which is basically like ours. I mean, they function just like us. It's not like a crazy Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas world. It's just a regular world, except instead of humans, it's monsters. They all have jobs, cars, and all that. And then there's our world, right? The human world. But they intersect because the monsters need energy, like PG&E, to provide their world with, to turn the lights on and stuff. So here's the concept. They have this job, which is like PG&E, and then the doors are portals into our world where the monsters walk into, and they go into our closets, and they scare the kids, and the kids' screams provide their energy. Now, that's a crazy concept. That's an amazing atmosphere. Keeps us into it, keeps us interested, right? Another one, Incredibles. Incredibles, I mean, we're all used to superhero movies, but this one did a really good job. They took us to a secret island, a tropical island, and tropical islands are always fun. Everyone loves tropical islands. But then there's robots, there's henchmen, and you got Dash running on freaking water like Jesus. You guys get it. Pixar makes great atmospheres, and when the audiences are immersed into the world, it's easier for them to be engaged into the story. Now, let's take a look at Cars. Right when you hear that Pixar is making a movie about cars, you're like, man, what are they going to do, right? What are they going to do with cars, right? And so off the bat, I'm sorry if you like Cars. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just saying, hey, here's some things that I think it was missing. So at the theater, I kind of know since I watched the trailer and what's going on in the first couple scenes, it's a NASCAR event. Or not NASCAR, but it's like NASCAR. And so first of all, I acknowledge there are a lot of NASCAR fans out there, and you guys probably love this scene. But again, just thinking of Pixar, thinking of all the atmospheric worlds that they have built, all the atmospheres that they have created, this one just did not compare with the others. It wasn't really that exciting to me. I was losing interest, and right off the bat, I'm like, man, Pixar, like, you couldn't choose another platform, you couldn't choose another type of race. I mean, street racing, just plain street racing is more exciting than this, because there's more than one type of turn, and there's exciting things that happen.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
I mean, out of all the things you could have done with Cars, you picked a oval shaped race course. Like with animation, you could have made obstacles, you could have made ramps, you could have made like fire loopholes, you could have made like rockets, you could have made them race through different terrains, like through the jungle or through the Arctic tundra on glaciers. You know, out of all the things you could have done, you chose NASCAR or something similar to NASCAR. But hey, it's only the intro, so hey, it could go somewhere very fun, right? That was my hopes. So there's one part right after the NASCAR scene, Lightning McQueen goes into the Mack truck, and they're just chilling and they're talking about life, whatever. And then there's a glimpse of hope. There's a little glimpse of hope I get when these tuners come out of nowhere, when these like sports car, like Midnight Club, Double Edition, like, you know, Need for Speed, Fast and Furious type of cars come out of nowhere. And I'm like, whoa, these cars look cool. These cars look exciting. These cars have lights and they look like they really do a lot of fun stuff. They look like they look like some fun cars to kick it with. And I was hoping like, man, maybe they're going to take the Mack truck. Maybe they're going to take Lightning McQueen on this adventure. And yeah, I mean, street racer, I don't know, whatever. And then they just make the Mack truck fall asleep and then they leave. They leave. And when they left Lightning McQueen and the Mack truck, I felt like they left me too. I felt like the excitement came with them and it left with them. And then when all that was gone, I'm like, okay, well, now what's going to happen? I mean, the fun party left. It goes a little bit south. It gets a little bit more worse. They end up in a desert, on this old deserted desert town, just abandoned and like forgotten. And then there's the locals who live in it. Now, you could have a boring place, but you could still have exciting characters. You could still have an interesting set of characters, right? Kind of like with Finding Nemo. They were at the dentist, right? It was a boring place, but it was an aquarium, a little small fish tank within the dentist's office. But that fish tank was filled with fun, and these characters were very fun, and they were weird, but they were interesting and they were funny. The characters in Cars in this old desert town, there wasn't anything that really popped out. I mean, Mater was cool. He was awesome. He was fun. He had the jokes. He had like the Cheech and Chong characters. And I mean, I get it. It's supposed to be an old desert town and stuff like that. But when Lightning McQueen met these people or these cars, I'm like, man, you guys seem very sad and discouraged and like depressed, man. Like, are you guys okay? And they took us to the desert, and they just left us out there, like a scene from Casino. They just took us to the desert and just left us there to just die with them, you know? And that was the remainder of the movie. That was the whole movie in the old desert town. And then Lightning McQueen goes back to the NASCAR racing, and it's just like, man, I felt like Cars could have been way better. You could have kept the same story, but if you had a different atmosphere, if you had a more creative, more immersive atmosphere to engage the audience, I feel like Cars could have done way better than it did. I believe that animators should take a little bit more time to plan and create worlds and atmospheres that will immerse their audiences. Because if the audiences are immersed into the world, it's easier for them to engage in the story.